Hey guys, how's it going? Firebox here. I want to share with you a brand new game coming out called Legacy Steel and Sorcery, a PvPvE action RPG similar to Dark and Darker and Dungeonborn in a fantasy-like setting. The devs have given me a lot of information to share with you today that, to my knowledge, has never been seen. We're going to go over a little bit of the game overview, the game loop, some of the UI changes that have been made, including the characters that you can create, some of the in-game things that you see when you're actually playing the game, and much, much more. And I also have the roadmap to share with you that covers the next few months. Keep in mind, the roadmap information is to be determined. It's not all guaranteed set in stone, but it will give you a little bit of an idea of what the devs are currently working on. So with that said, I do have a 2-minute trailer to share with you. This has already been seen before a few months ago, but in case some of you guys have missed it, I wanted to share it in this video. I will have a timestamp below. If you want to skip past that and just see the information that I have, feel free to do that. Let's go ahead and get started. Alright, hopefully you enjoyed the trailer. Let's go ahead and get into the game overview. So Legacy Steel and Sorcery, as I mentioned before, is a PvPvE game, action role-playing, where players go on open map adventures to fight each other and dangerous creatures, loot treasures, craft new materials, armor, and much more, with the purpose of leveling up their character and improving their gear so they can take on even greater challenges. In order to progress, the player will have to enter one of the maps. Right now, there's only one map, but they do have plans to make more and make as much progress as possible by finding loot, completing quests, slaying creatures and other players, and extracting before time runs out. Failing to extract means losing all of your equipped items, so surviving is the #1 priority. How much you want to take on before you leave is up to you. Okay, so if you're not familiar with how these games work, I'm going to just briefly give you a summary. The general gameplay loop is as follows. You have a stash area where you're going to have your gear, your medicine items, potions, arrows, anything of that nature that you could possibly use in dungeon is in your stash. Every time you go into the map, you risk everything that you grab on that character. So if I bring a sword, a bow, and some arrows, if I die, those items are gone forever. The person that kills me gets to secure that loot and bring it with them to their stash. So these kind of games do have a pretty heavy focus on PvP combat, but the VE, or the environment, is also equally as important, usually consisting of bosses, dungeons, quests, and much more. So there's typically a pretty good mix of things to do and objectives when you're going into the game, but these games are very punishing. Now that you hopefully understand what this genre is, let's talk about the game loop and the UI of Legacy Steel and Sorcery specifically. First things first, you're going to pick a house name used for the party system and the name other players will see, and create your character, which is going to be a warrior, a hunter, a priest, and a rogue. You will now be able to invite friends to join your party, explore the merchants to buy, sell, craft, trade, salvage items, pick up quests, edit your character loadout, and when you're ready, begin your adventure. When you do enter matches, you do get to choose how many people you want to play with. You can either go in solo, duos, or trios. And just to give you an idea of what the main hub menu looks like, you have your create your party, where you can choose the party size, again, up to 3 players. You have your inventory, which consists of your skills, inventory, traits, and your stash, where you keep all of your goodies in between matches. You have your city, which is where the merchants are going to be. These guys will give you quests, sell you items, and you can also sell them items that you collect while you're out exploring the map. Quests that you can complete, a lodge, which is going to be another progression system. I don't think we have any more information on that. You'll be able to select multiple maps in the future as well. Right now, it'll only be Greenwood on release. And of course, when you're ready, we can go ahead and start our adventure. Now, once we've clicked that button, we're going to head into Greenwood, where you're free to explore, slay monsters and players, find secrets and treasure, but make sure to get to an extract point before the timer runs out, or you'll lose your items. This is the big thing in these extraction games. You have to make sure that you extract, or you will have to reset your progress. But that's where the stash comes in. Everything in your stash is always safe. So there's a little bit of decision making involved in what you want to bring with you to try to increase your chance of survival, and what you want to keep in your stash for future runs in case you do happen to kick the bucket. There are multiple extract points, but the default one is always marked on your map, and compass. Alright, so let me just show you a little bit of the UI. You have your health bar up here with your class resource bar. I believe the warrior has rage. The priest has mana. I'm not exactly sure what every other class uses. We'll have to wait and see unless there's more information down here below. You have your class tool belt over here to the left, and consumables that your class has accessible. You also have your class skills over here in the bottom right corner. It looks like up to 4 total. You have your timer that you have to utilize and keep an eye out while you're playing, because again, if this timer runs out, you do lose your stuff. And you'll have your compass here at the top, where you'll be able to see where you have to extract at the end of the game. But there are going to be different types of extracts you can go to, not just this one. It's just the one that is guaranteed to let you escape. Now, when you're in game, pressing tab will open up your character, where you can see everything such as stats, interact with loot, skills, mastery points, and set up your tool belt to have quick access to consumables like potions and bandages. Just to show what it looks like in game, you have your equipped items here on the left hand side. You have your tools down here at the bottom, the menu here, tools. You have a soul pouch where even if you die, you get to keep those items. You have your backpack where it looks like you can rotate items, which is pretty cool. Oh, it does it right here. Press R to rotate. Perfect. And then you have your general stats over here. Health, stamina. Looks like it is rage, as I thought for warrior. Just kind of made sense. It seems like it's based, themed around World of Warcraft a little bit. You have your weapon stats, defense stats, and I'm sure much, much more. Each character has several skills and multiple types of attacks. Skills are going to be selected from the character tab inventory screen by the 1, 2, and 3 hotkey. And then each character that has multiple weapons, you'll be able to select these with its own special skill with the hotkey Q. So these are going to be your 4 total abilities. It looks like the Q is your weapon, then 1, 2, and 3 are those skills. Each weapon has different attacks on the left and right mouse button, so it sounds like there's going to be some variety and decision making for what you want to do while you're fighting. Some attacks and abilities can be held down to be charged, increasing their effectiveness. Kind of figured that. It's pretty common in games like this. All characters can evade by tapping left shift, jump, and mantle on objects, and have various modified attacks. Evade attacks, jump attacks. Sounds like there's going to be a lot of different ways you can fight and engage with other players and mobs, which is very exciting to see. All characters can also sheath their weapons by holding X and sprinting by holding down left shift. Looks like this game is going to have a wounded system as well. So you can see in the top left corner, you have your health bar, your black bar, which is missing HP, and a gray bar, which is your wounded that probably isn't healed normally. Looks like your maximum health is reduced. While there are multiple ways of healing, only bandages can repair wounds. So you are going to have to do a little bit of managing. This does kind of give me a little bit of Tarkov-esque gameplay, where you have to utilize different types of consumables to keep your character healthy as you go and play. But it looks like you can heal yourself up to full if you do have access to bandages. We'll have to wait and see how Priest works with wounds. I would imagine probably can heal these as well, but it says only, so who knows? I guess we'll just wait and see. And once you get to the end of your adventure, make sure you get to the extraction point, so that way you can extract with the stuff in your backpack so you don't lose it all. And now that you've made it back safely, you can turn in quests, trade with merchants, such as building trust with them, restocking your consumables, crafting some items, and getting ready for another adventure. And I will say, I actually like the way that these merchants look. This guy looks pretty cool. You'll see you have the merchants, what he sells. You can sell to him from your stash, and then you'll kind of just equip yourself again. So you can just kind of keep going through the loop. I am curious how many merchants there are in this game. I imagine that there is probably quite a few, not just this guy. Now, before I get into the roadmap, if you want to get access to this game, be sure to head to the Steam page, Legacy, Steel, and Sorcery. I'll leave a link in the description below if you haven't seen it yet. And you can join the playtest down here at Request Access. It'll be open October 4th at 9 a.m. PDT, and it will end October 7th, 9 a.m. PDT. And I believe it will open at every weekend. I'm not sure if it's been decided to stay open every weekend until late 2024 when the game officially goes into early access. But for now, the game will be open for playtesting on the weekends. So hopefully I'll see you there. And I will also have game codes to give away on my Twitch. If you're not there yet, I will have a link in the description below for that as well. So feel free to check me out there. Let's go on and go over the roadmap for what we can expect over the next few months. Keep in mind that this is still in progress. None of this is guaranteed to be added to the game. So keep an open mind. This is just an inside look at some things that they're looking to work on right now. So for late September, they're looking at class traits, passive bonuses that you can gain while leveling up that make your class feel awesome. Choose one you like best along the way, but at max level, you'll get them all. Some examples include Priest can fly, Ascend levitate, Rogue can pickpocket other players and steal loot, Warrior can charge through walls, Hunter can summon wind, allowing her to shoot while falling. We have the Lodge, account progression where you can unlock increased stash space, cooking, craft, class tools, and more. Spider creature, found lurking in crypts, dungeons, and well, anywhere in the dark, of course. And we have some new armor pieces here. I know it might be hard to see, but they're work in progress, but I think they look pretty cool for what they're working on. For October, we can expect the Death Ball, the warrior's third weapon, which is a heavy, massive ball on chain. The Sword and Buckler, the priest's third weapon, allowing her to take melee. Elite encounters tougher NPC creatures with better loot. Wraith creature, looks like that's going to be the elite encounter or one of them, found haunting crypts and castles, and more, including auto, run, toggle, and settings and key bindings. For some additional stuff that's currently TBA, we have the arena system, where loot or craft your dream gear set and bring it into arena. If you die, you won't lose your stuff. So it's a practice area where you can fight other players without having to risk your stuff. Good for PvP. Jewel crafting, socket items with customizable stats and bonuses. Look forward to that. The Gemlin, if you see him, no doubt it's carrying a precious jewel that's sure to be worth a lot back at town. Maybe has to do with jewel crafting. Hunter Sentinel Companion. Hunters summon the Sentinel for spells and perch around the world to keep watch for enemy players. And more, including stash, containers, prestige system, and focus target combat feature. And some additional things that they're working on. This has no date attached, just some different things. Include Paladin, Sense Injustice, and Bring Down the Hammer. Wizard class, so many spells. A new dungeon called Greenwood Crypt, where you uncover the mystery of the Paladin Order lost underground in Greenwood. A new zone called Farm, a smaller entry-level zone for new players. Character customization, zone day, night, and weather, which sounds awesome. New epic zone, Karth, which is a desert-style zone. A guild hall to have a guild with your friends and unlock new features. Seasonal Chronicle, each week complete a new chapter in a seasonal story. A campaign system with epic quest lines with special rewards. New creatures, and more, including controller support, console release, Steam Deck capability, more classes, more weapons, more bosses, and zone events. So again, keep in mind that this is completely subject to change. It is not guaranteed all of this will make it into the game, but I will say I think this roadmap looks pretty good, and at least from the little bit of gameplay I've seen, I'm definitely looking forward to this game. I do want to thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to like the video, subscribe for future content. I do plan to make some legacy content once the NDA has been lifted, probably sometime after October 4th. And don't forget to follow me on Twitch if you want to see a first look at the game and a chance for additional game codes in case you don't get one from Steam. I think if you sign up early enough, you'll probably get one, but the later you wait, the harder it will be to grab. I would recommend right now, before you get too busy, to go ahead and request access before everybody else does. And I do want to thank Justin Doob, Trash Daddy, and Pressure for supporting this video, amongst some other members. Thank you all. Have a great day.